Big news coming in. The Iranian government, the regime there, has reacted to the US attack on the Iranian warship. You have the Iranian foreign minister condemning the US attack on the Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean. The US, he says, has perpetrated an atrocity at sea 2,000 miles away from Iranian shores. Frigate Dana, a guest of Indian Navy carrying almost 130 sailors, was struck in international waters without warning. Mark my words, he says, the US will come to bitterly regret the precedent it has set. So those are the words coming in from Iran's foreign minister, who has not only condemned the US attack on the Iranian vessel, but he has also issued a warning to the US, saying that the US will come to bitterly regret the precedent that it has set. At least 87 people were killed after a US submarine sank an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean. The warship Iris Dana had participated in a naval exercise in India just weeks ago, and now you have that statement coming in from the Iranian regime. Aditya Rajkol joining me live. Aditya, you have the Iranian regime not only condemning the attack here, but also issuing a very strong warning to the US that they're going to bitterly regret the precedent they have set.
Well, absolutely. This is the first official word that's coming in from the Iranian government, and that too from the foreign minister Argachi, who in fact not only condemns but says that US has indulged in atrocity at sea. We'll have to wait and watch how Iran retaliates on this, but this is a very, very strong warning that has gone across to the United States immediately after the US submarine off the coast of the Indian Ocean in the international waters attacked this Iranian frigate. As I had mentioned earlier, this Iranian frigate was in fact conducting an exercise, an event with India, with the Indian Navy for the last few days. It was in Visakhapatnam and then in Goa, and thereafter it was on its way to Iran when it was attacked by the submarine. It was torpedoes yesterday early morning. Now, the Iranian foreign minister is condemning this. He's calling the US atrocity on Iran. And this is, Iris Dana that we are talking about. He says that this was India's guest, and there were more than 130 seafarers on this particular Iranian frigate. So first official confirmation coming in from the Iranian government, but also an attack on US, a warning, a threat that has been issued to the United States that this will cost dearly to the United States. Vedika, clearly we haven't seen the end of it. US has gone out to the international waters to attack the Iranians without any provocations at that particular time there. But certainly unprecedented developments in the last 24 hours. We were the first to break this on NDTV. Unprecedented, the times that we are living in, that it's not just land and air, but also at sea, that too in the international waters, in India's backyard in Indian Ocean, that this attack took place. And of course, the Sri Lankan Navy, after getting the distress call, tried to safeguard as many people as possible. But unfortunately, it does seem that quite a few casualties have been reported in this particular attack on sea in the Indian Ocean. So now the Iranian foreign minister is saying that the United States will regret this, and this is certainly an atrocity at sea.
Aditya, we're talking about how this should be a concern, of course, for South Asian nations, especially Sri Lanka and India. Any word coming in from the Indian government or the Indian Navy on this very, very big incident, like you said, in India's backyard?
Well, so far, there hasn't been any kind of a statement either by the Indian Navy or the Ministry of External Affairs. They're monitoring this closely since this occurred in the international waters and not exactly in the Indian maritime domain. So we'll have to wait and watch whether there will be any kind of an official word, really. The only official word so far had been from the Sri Lankan Navy, which had confirmed, having this rescue mission after getting the distress call. But apart from that, the second confirmation has now come in from the Iranian government itself, the foreign minister confirming the incident and also threatening the United States with consequences, saying that the US will regret it. Indian government monitoring the situation closely, but hasn't in fact reacted. Remember, another carrier called Skylight was also which came under attack off the coast of Oman from the Iranian missile There were Indians on board, and there have been Indian casualties on that. We are waiting for a word from the Indian government on that as well. At least 2 Indians, I think, possibly have passed away in that. But this Iris Dana was attacked yesterday morning, and this is perhaps a flashpoint, a new flashpoint developing at sea between Iran and United States, which could possibly see more action in the coming days. Of course, the Iranian Navy cannot be compared in any way with the US Navy, the strengths that the US really have. But till now, over 22 Iranian vessels and frigates have been attacked and sunk by the United States in the last 3 days.
Aditya Raj Kaul there, reporting from Israel. Stay safe and thank you for those updates.